Hello, Safe Harbor Yogis. It's great to be with you. If you haven't practiced with me before, my name is Jen Rhodes. I'm happy to be with you today and be able to teach a quick little class regarding a little bit of meditation and putting some yoga into play. So let's get started. If everyone can make their way to their chairs if you're not already in your seat, or if you are on your mat, you can simply lay down. Those of you in chairs, our relaxed position is with our feet on the ground, about hip width distance apart, flat feet on the ground, and we'd be sitting against the back of the chair and leaning into it. At certain times, I may say to use your own posture, so that just means to scoot ahead very safely on our wheeled chairs so you don't tip, but just using your own posture by sitting away from the back. So those are the two things that you'll hear from me most. So let's get started by sitting against the back of our chair and also laying down on our mat. You can lay down however you wish, and again, put your legs however you'd like or your arms however you'd like. There is no proper way. And we're going to start for a moment with just grounding ourselves. So the theory of grounding is a pretty important one. It's really big within yoga. Now, what that means, if you're not familiar with that term, is think of it literally. We are trying to kind of give ourselves roots. We're trying to kind of stay on Earth here. So if you feel like you're floating in outer space, you're not really quite sure where your bearings are, this is a good exercise to always come back to. So what I want us to focus on are our points of contact with our chair or with the ground. So you're welcome to close your eyes or bring your gaze down to the floor if you are comfortable with doing so. And we can kind of go from there. That's really to just stop any distractions that would be around us or paying attention to our neighbor. So coming into your seat, coming into your mat, closing the eyes, start to just notice your points of contact of what you're sitting on, where your feet are. And with your feet on the ground, notice that, again, you are completely supported. You're completely supported by your chair as well. So just zoom yourself down all the way from whatever satellite is beaming down on our planet, down to the United States, to Pennsylvania, to Easton, to the room you're in. Just knowing that right now where you are is where you're meant to be. It's where you are going to really strive the most with your mind in the same place as your body. So just trying to reconnect that as well as so mind and body, but also with our breath. So I like to give a little bit of an idea of what our lesson is for today, and there's a really good poem that I had found. It's entitled "Just for Now" by Dana Folds. So again, keeping our eyes low at the ground or closing our eyes just to really soak in the words. She had said, "Just for now, without asking how, let yourself sink into stillness. Just for now, lay down the weight you so patiently bear upon your shoulders. Feel the earth receive you and the infinite expanse of the sky grow even wider as your awareness reaches up to meet it. Just for now, allow a wave of breath to enliven your experience. Breathe out whatever blocks you from the truth. Just for now, be boundless, free, awakened, energy tingling in your hands and feet. Drink in the possibility of being who and what you really are, so fully alive. And when you open your eyes, the world looks different, newly born and vibrant, just for now." So allowing ourselves to have peace for this amount of time and to begin to teach our bodies and teach our minds to find that peace in times of struggle. It's really the foundation of what yoga is. It's not that you have to be folding into a pretzel or wearing expensive clothing as it's marketed a lot in the United States. It really is a very ancient practice with a lot of different moving parts. It's really just the tip of the iceberg when you are actually just moving on a yoga mat and making poses. So we're going to hone a little bit more in onto the mental side like that. So I want us to keep grounded, like I said. So I'd like for you to, if you could please, set an intention for these next few minutes that we have together, to be able to carry it through your day here today, through the rest of your week, and have it be a conscious thing that you are working on ultimately. So finding a short phrase, a word, something that will be able to anchor you back down, ground you, when you may be ungrounded. So it could be something as simple as the saying, I am grounded. It could be that I am here or be here now. If you feel like you have to almost give yourself that command to be more present. So finding something that you're either working on your own or any of the examples I provided, you're more than welcome to use any of those. And let's get some movement going here. So just keeping our eyes closed or our gaze low still, keeping that peace, that inner solace, go ahead and just start moving your shoulders. Move them in circles, then go the opposite direction. So just moving our shoulders around, starting to wake up the upper half of our body. And then we're going to bring our arms into it a little bit. Go ahead and bring your arms down by your sides. And we're going to take a big inhale and sweep our arms high over top of our heads here. Let your palms come to touch. And we're going to bend at the elbows and let ourselves open our chest just a little bit and make goalpost arms here. And just really bring those elbows back as much as is comfortable to help open the middle of the chest here. On your next exhale, close those arms together. Let your hands come down to your lap and then hang by your sides once again. One more time, inhale, arms come sweep high over top of the head. Let the palms come to join. Bend at the elbows. Make those goalpost arms, palms face forward. Elbows are bent. Let's go ahead and bring our hands back down to heart center and then let them come back down to our sides. Letting the left arm dangle. And if you are on a mat, of course, too, because I did forget to cue that exactly at the right timing, you're more than welcome to sit up and do all these things. But we're going to let our left arm dangle by our side here. Reach up high with that right arm. Spin your pinky downward toward the ground, almost that your palm is facing behind you to help open up this whole part of your shoulder and your chest on the right side. Give yourself a little reach over to the left. Your gaze, if it's okay with your neck, can come up toward that right arm and just really feel that stretch all the way from your hip up through their fingertips on that right hand. So go ahead and stretch into it. Breathe in a deep breath and breathe out a deep breath. Let that arm come down, swap it out simultaneously. Bring that left arm up, right arm comes down. Reach over to the right side and go ahead and look up toward the left if that is in your body. But feeling that same stretch on this expanse here, really letting that right arm hang. And again, spinning our palm like it's facing behind us. Take one more big breath in. One more big breath out. And go ahead and come back down. We're going to wiggle the shoulders around one more time here. Go one direction, go the other. Beautiful. Coming back into stillness here. So our feet are still planted on the ground, coming into a little bit of a grounding exercise with a little bit of movement. I'd like you to just picture even. Again, I know we're on floor. We're not on the actual earth itself right now, most likely. But again, using that theory that you're almost growing roots from your feet or from underneath of your seat, that they're anchoring you down to the earth, that you're one with the earth. So just for a moment, picture what you see as tree roots. Picture those underneath your body, underneath your seat, your mat, your feet, that you are growing into the ground, that you are part of this planet, that you're not having to be off in outer space thinking into things that are not useful at that moment. So also allowing yourself to do a little check right now to make sure that you're mentally here in class. And it's okay if you're not. That's the great thing about being human, is that that is perfectly natural. But what I'd like to be able to try to instill in all of you throughout my classes is how to maintain that and to come back to it if you drift away. So once again, just picturing those roots growing. And as we move here too, picturing that the roots are still attached almost, that we're still on the ground, we're still being held here. Now let's extend our left leg long in front of us. So you can see here, I'm keeping it as straight to the ground as I can, that I'm making it even. My back is against the chair. Those of you on mats, if you are sitting up, just extend that left leg long in front of you. And you can keep your knee bent on your right foot just as you're sitting up. So from here, we're going to point and flex our left toes. So we're going to point them forward toward the wall in front of us, and then we're going to flex them like we're standing on the wall, okay? So point and flex that foot a few times. Go ahead and move it in circles, either direction, swapping sides. And then slowly, making it a controlled movement, we're going to lower down on 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Our left foot meets the ground. Same thing with the opposite side. Let's bring our right leg out in front of us. First, we're going to point our toes toward the front of the room here, keeping that leg about even with the rest of our hip. And then we're going to point and flex our toes. So again, bringing our toenails, side of our toes, further away from us and closer to us, over and over. Then go ahead and round that ankle out, work out any Rice Krispies that may have been built up in there, and just simply move in circles both ways. Take a big, deep inhale here. Bring that foot back to stillness, and we're going to lower down on 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right foot meets the ground. So from here, opening the hips up for just a moment, just to help get to our tension areas in our body. We got a little bit into the shoulders, we got a little bit into the legs, we got a little bit into the arms. So just simply coming back into our hips. So what we're going to do, if you are on a mat, lay yourself down and just bring your soles of your feet to the mat with your knees bent. So if you'd reach down with your arms, you can almost touch your heels. Okay, so that's where we're at if we're on the ground. If we're in a chair, go ahead and cross your left ankle over your right knee. There are options here. So the closer this heel is toward your body, the more intense the pose is going to be. Again, I just have mine balancing on my actual, right above my knee. We don't really want it right on the kneecap, but right above my kneecap, toward my body. And you can see I'm holding on to my ankle, holding on to my knee and shin on that left side. We're going to flex our left toes, just like we're standing on the wall to the side of us. Keep your shoulders back on your back. Don't let them creep up toward your ears. And we're just going to give a little slight lean forward. And Jasper, my dog, is joining us too now, so I apologize for any noise. So again, just folding down. So bring your chest down toward your leg. This is about where I stop in the pose even. So I don't expect yourself to come all the way down to that leg, but just make that motion of leaning forward. And again, those of you the same way in on your mats can do the same thing, but just while laying down. Take 2 more breaths where we're at, in and out. In and out. All right, beautiful. Inhale and sit yourself back up. Same thing, opposite side. Let's go ahead and bring our right ankle over our left thigh. And flexing those toes like we're standing on the wall to the side of us. You can hold on to that leg, brace it a little bit, And on your next exhale, we're going to fold ourselves forward just that tiny bit again, feeling that stretch in our hip by doing so. So just coming down those couple of inches, feeling that stretch a little bit more in the body. Take two more big breaths here. So in, out, in, and out. Let your next inhale bring you up to seated. Release that foot. Go ahead and just kick both legs out in front of you. Wiggle your toes, bend your knees, and then bring your feet back down to your seats. I'm just going to check time-wise where we are. If I can see it, I apologize. Trying to see here. Okay, we have a couple more minutes. I apologize. Just wanted to make sure I was in time here with you all. All right. So for these last 5 or so minutes together, we're going to go into that meditative state. So we moved a little bit, we worked into some spots, and just know that you can always come back to these poses since they are fairly simple. Once you know them, you can help use those to help ground you as well if you feel overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, anything that's bringing your mind almost outside of your body. Um, the best way that I always like to think of it, and some of you who have heard my backstory, I do have diagnosed anxiety and severe PTSD. So a lot of what I teach is what I use personally to help myself. To be able to stay again grounded, which is a huge thing with any type of anxiety disorders, especially also depression too, again, because you kind of float into your mind into the past or into the future, finding yourself anxious or regretful, and really just using your own mind to your advantage, that we could be mindful literally of ourselves where we are in time and space, and we can bring ourselves back to our bodies whenever we need to. So whenever you may feel that feeling of unease, of being out of your own body a little bit, or just that your mind is so overwhelmed that you really just don't know what the next step is. Knowing that you can come internally and also get external help on it when you need, but really to help yourself try to work into those issues and find where the root of any problem is, why you are possibly anxious or having any symptoms like that. So coming back internally for these last few minutes, those of you on a mat, please come back down to lay on your mat. Those of you in chairs, just go ahead and sit with your feet hip width distance. Let your back relax. And we're just going to do one more roll of our shoulders, and then we're going to come back to bring our eyes closed or our gaze down at the floor. So we're going to bring our shoulders forward. So you can even slump a little bit forward here. Bring your shoulders forward, then start creeping them up toward your ears. Bring them up almost to the point of uncomfortability. And then use your arms, even your elbows, to jet back and let it roll all the way through your back, your shoulder blades, and then bring your elbows back forward. Going the opposite direction, let's go ahead and bring our elbows back. Let your shoulder blades come together behind you. Let your ears creep up, or shoulders rather, creep up toward your ears, and then bring your shoulders down in front and relax them. Allow that last movement to bring you into stillness, bringing your gaze back down. So taking a breath here. Let's breathe in together. One deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. And this time doing two more breaths very similarly, but this next one we'll breathe in through the nose and then exhale through the mouth. And you can sigh it out. Let anything that's kind of keeping you down or holding you down in a bad way to let that energy or that bad thought come out with this breath. So take a big deep inhale through the nose, fill your belly, fill your chest. And exhale through the mouth, sigh, make noise if you need. One more breath in through the nose and out through the nose now. Let's take that deep, deep breath in together now. Exhale here. Feel yourself melt more into your seat and more into your mat. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. It does not matter which one goes where. But just simply connect one moment with your breath and with your heartbeat, something that's continuously with you at all times. So knowing that, again, our bodies are doing this for us, that we're supported at all times. We have our bodies working in our favor. So with the eyes closed or gaze low, with our hands at our heart and our belly, feeling our breath, feeling our heartbeat. Just going back into the very beginning of that poem from the very start of class. Just for now, without asking how, let yourself sink into stillness. Just for now, lay down the weight you so patiently bear upon your shoulders. Feel the earth receive you and the infinite expanse of sky grow even wider as your awareness reaches up to meet it. So carrying this stillness, this quiet, this peace, carrying it with us, feeling it inside our minds, inside our bodies, knowing that this is accessible at any given moment. So next time you find a trying time, just come back to your breath, come back to your grounding, and come back into your own body. Let yourself know that it's okay to be here now. It's okay to be uncomfortable in a moment. And it's okay to really reach out for help if you need it, or to also use your own mind, use your own body to help learn how you can calm yourself down in times of stress. So we're going to end our class today with the yogic word that means the light in me sees and honors the light in you, and that we are all one. That word is namaste. So let's sweep our arms up one more time over our heads. So bring them out by our sides, all the way up toward the ceiling. Those of you on mats, you're more than welcome to sit up for this part. And then once we bring our hands together, we're going to pretend we're sealing that energy into our hands. Bring those hands down to your heart. Give yourself a little moment of thanks for taking this time to be mindful, to learn something new, and to be able to help better yourself through your own practice and through your own bodies. So let's all, either out loud or in your heads, again, repeat that word of namaste and bow in toward yourself and thank yourself. Namaste. So thank you again, everyone, for joining me. If you should have any questions at all whatsoever, please feel free to forward them to Sarah. I am more than happy to answer them for you or to provide any additional advice. And thank you again for joining me. I'll see you all next week.